Hey everybody, happy Wednesday. It's rainy and gross here in Vermont, but after today, it is going to be beautiful. Summer is getting here next week. Just one more day to get through. Hopefully the forecast doesn't change. But anyway, so today I wanted to do a video that I didn't get to last week during the recovery videos that I was doing. But I wanted to talk about heat and cold therapy. I talked a little bit about Epsom salt baths, but I wanted to talk about both heat and cold therapy and what they're useful for, and using them alone or together. And so I personally use heat therapy quite a bit, cold therapy not as much. So there is some evidence that cold plunges, cold ice baths, which some people use. When I think of the people that use these types of things, I think of professional athletes. It seems to be pretty popular in professional sports circles. And there is some evidence that it helps with recovery. And I think mostly it helps you to not be as sore because it gets rid of the inflammation. And I think that it's probably, if you're in the middle of a sports season and you have a lot of inflammation from competing, and you just need to be able to compete in the next game or match or whatever, cold therapy can be really beneficial in order to keep that inflammation to a minimum and to keep you good to go for your next competition. Now, there is some evidence that cold plunges, cold ice baths can shock your heart a bit. But I don't know. I mean, there are areas of the world where it is tradition to go from a hot sauna and jump in an icy lake. So, and there's also a lot of evidence that it's really beneficial too to do things like that. So, I mean, take with it what you will. As far as doing cold therapy in the off season, now inflammation is not always a bad thing. We talk about inflammation as being this horrible thing that we need to get rid of all the time. Inflammation is really just, it's the body's it's healing. It's part of the healing process. And you can't heal without some inflammation. So it's not always a bad thing to have some. Obviously not all the time, obviously not chronic inflammation, but it's not necessarily a bad thing to have some inflammation, specifically to build muscle and stuff. That's where the muscle building is going to come from that inflammation. Whereas if you do ice baths, it may impede your ability to build muscle because you don't have the blood flow to the area to heal things properly. So moving on. Oh, the other thing I did want to say one more thing about ice baths and cold therapy is that I don't think it's beneficial. This is why most of the reason why I don't use it, is I find it stressful to make myself cold. I mean, I live in a cold area of the country, and I don't necessarily want to make myself cold on purpose. And if you do lead a really stressful lifestyle, there is some evidence that making yourself cold can induce a stress response. So it's not necessarily a good thing for if and may not help or aid in your recovery if you lead a super stressful lifestyle. So moving on to heat obviously does the opposite of cold. It brings, so whereas cold gets blood flow away from the area, gets the inflammation out, heat therapy pulls blood into the area and aids in healing. And I think that when you use them in tandem together, They're, you know, it depends on what you're using them for. But if you're using them for recovery and to heal, then using the heat is more beneficial. And using it after the cold. So if you like use the cold first, you know, if you're going to use both, use the cold first and then the heat if you're trying to aid in like physical healing, like healing a sore muscle or something like that. But if it is just a sore muscle, I would just go with straight heat, and that's going to bring blood flow to the area, going to wash out all of the buildup of, I don't want to say toxins, but like the acids and stuff that are released when you are exercising, and it's going to flush all those out. It's going to bring healing. It's going to bring blood to the area to help in healing the area. I don't know why I'm going to this shoulder. It's not sore. So using the heat second helps bring that blood flow back, gets the healing process going after the inflammation has gone out from the cold. And if you are just wanting, and heat aids in relaxation, there's all, you know, there's different kinds of heat. Obviously there's different kinds of cold therapy too, but there's different, you know, there's sauna, there's infrared sauna, there's hot baths, there's all different kinds of way people, you know, it's whatever I think you like the most. You know, there's probably pros and cons for each one of those things. Now, using hot and cold together for something like, there is some evidence that doing heat first, and I'm talking like sauna to cold plunge or hot shower, turning the knob down to cold before you get out and just like washing yourself off with cold water, something like that, can be beneficial for like your immune system, your immune function. And it's something I did for a while. I personally didn't really notice a difference in terms of like, I got sick less or anything like that. I did it for, gosh, a year or two, where like every time I take a shower, I take a really hot shower, and then at the end of the shower, I'd turn it down to as cold as I could manage. And I did not personally like it. Some people really enjoy that. It's like kind of refreshing. I mean, it sort of was, but like I said, I don't like being cold. So to like, sometimes in the summer, it's not too bad, but like, especially in the winter when I've been working outside in like 10 degrees, I don't want to like take a cold shower. But anyway, I digress. Yeah, so that's like, so depending on what you're using it for determines whether you use cold therapy, heat therapy, both together, which one you use first, which one is second. It just all depends on where you're at in your competition season, or what your, you know, what your goal is in using the heat or cold therapy and that. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you got something out of it. And if you did, please like it. If you're watching on YouTube, like it, share it, subscribe. If you're watching on Rumble, hit the Rumble button, share it, and follow me. And I will see you all tomorrow with another video. Question of the week. If you have a question, leave it in the comments. I'll try it and I will get to it, and I will see you all later. Bye.